My husband of 5 years just came out as straight and told me that being with me was a mistake, and now he's acting like the past 5 years of our life never even happened. So my husband, 27M, and I, 28M, have been married for like 3 years and dated for about 2. In total, 5 years of a gay relationship. We're two men, have always been two men, and I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. My husband and I have had a rather healthy relationship for the most part. Of course we have minor arguments every now and then, but what relationship is perfect? In the end we always resolve them and our affection would continue as normal. This is kind of why I'm really confused by what's going on with us. Why now? I'm a Christian. I know a lot of people don't like the idea of that, but gay Christians do exist. My husband was agnostic, not necessarily an atheist, just wasn't completely on board with any religion. And that's fine, I would have supported him if he found peace in literally anything. He didn't need to become a Christian, and honestly, as selfish as this sounds, I wish he didn't. I know this makes me sound like a terrible person, but he changed so drastically afterwards and I miss the man he used to be. It was a slow start. He asked me about verses from the Bible, we went to church, he even fasted for Lent. Christmas this year was much more than just presents, and I was happy that I had this piece of me to share with him now. I was raised religious and struggled with my identity. If it weren't for other queer Christians, I would have left Christianity. I was glad that I still had these things we could bond over, but it kept ramping up. All of a sudden, he's going to church more than I am, which is perfectly fine, is always carrying a Bible with him, and will randomly cite a verse when we're having political discussions. I've noticed his views have started to shift towards the right as well, and recently retweeted someone saying your body, my choice. You're a twink, women's reproductive rights don't concern you in the slightest? It kept ramping up. He started agreeing with the whole LGB minus the T crowd, and started spewing harmful rhetoric about drag queens as if we aren't friends with a bunch of them. When I told him that drag queens are much less likely to harm children than some pastors, he lost his shit saying I was a heathen and that his friends were right. This is the part that caught my attention. What friends? I asked him what he meant by that, and he started backtracking and just said he was tired and that we should go to bed. I was tired, and arguing didn't seem like it'd do us any good right now, so I put a pin in it and we got ready for bed. Our room has a bathroom connected, and usually we keep the door open. He takes a shower and makes sure to lock it, which was weird but I didn't say anything about it. If he wants to set this boundary down that's fine, but he could at least communicate it, you know? The next day is a Sunday, and he's already out of bed and I'm assuming at church. I get up and got ready, but once I arrived I realized he wasn't there. That confused me, so after the service I called him asking him where he was. He tells me he's in church, but I told him I was here too and didn't see him. He clarifies he means the other church. I'm not going to say the denomination because I don't want to cause any arguments. This was news to me, especially because he never brought it up and still carried our Bible. I told him to send me the address and I'll pick him up so we can get brunch, but he tells me that he doesn't want his friends seeing me. That hurt. I asked him if we could at least meet up and he said he'll see me at home. After a few hours, he finally comes home. He says we need to talk. I agreed. I wanted to ask him why he didn't want his friends seeing me, and as I opened my mouth to ask the question he set him straight. I stared at him for a bit, and he continued, explaining that his church helped him realize he wasn't going to see the kingdom of God if he continued living in sin and that he needed to leave me as soon as possible. He told them about the pastor comment I made last night, and they said that I was a devil trying to lure him away from Christ. He started repeating a lot of the same rhetoric I heard from other Christians growing up, and it really upset me. He even said that I could be saved, and that I already had the traditionally masculine look so I had that going for me, and that I just needed to steer away from homosexuality. I feel like I'm in an alternate reality right now. I'm being told by the love of my life that I'm a devil that needs to return to Christ because I shut down his homophobic rhetoric. My gay husband is being homophobic. I'm sorry, but not once in the 5 years we've been together did he realize he was suddenly straight. It just doesn't work like that. It's not like we're in some other universe where compomo is a thing, right? I told him that he needed to leave and that we could discuss arrangements afterwards. I still want him, I love him, but I have no idea how he could look at me with a straight face and tell me all of that. He started arguing saying that he didn't want to leave and that we could be friends, so I told him that I wouldn't be friends with a self-hating queer for the life of me. He packed a bag and left. His location shows he's at some random house I've never been to, but I assume that's one of the churchgoers he's friends with. I don't even know what I'm supposed to do from here. Did I seriously just lose my husband? I don't understand how this could happen. What can I do now? I miss him already. Update, 5 days later. Thank you to everyone who gave me genuine advice on my last post. I'll quickly answer some common questions. No, he does not have a family history of bipolar disorder or any other mental health disorder that would cause sharp changes. No, he isn't cheating on me with one of his church friends, but I will get more into this later. No, he isn't bi. I'm bi, and we've had conversations and he said he experimented in high school but it wasn't for him. I talked to his family and our friends about the whole thing. I explained we were separating because of his newfound faith and how he's acting. I told them about the shit he said and they're all worried for me. I don't think that I'm in any sort of danger, honestly. I did talk to my church about this, and they told me that the church he's attending is notorious for this sort of thing. One of them will show up after a service and wait outside, and if someone is walking out alone they'll come up to them and start chatting. They'll pretend they go here until they've talked to the person enough times to invite them to their church. Apparently he was attending my church even on days where I wasn't, so he was alone a lot. It's really f***ing predatory and it low-key pisses me off that he was enjoying my church and it led to him being taken away from me. I've had limited contact with him in the past few days. He came over last night, saying he needed to talk to me. He didn't appreciate me contacting his parents, and assured me that he is fine mentally. I wanted to start asking all the questions I've come up with since he left, but I didn't want to overwhelm him. I know he didn't cheat on me because that was the first question I asked. More so, are you leaving me because there's somebody else? His response was that he didn't want to leave me, but living in sin wasn't what he wanted anymore. How did he figure this out, you ask? After grilling him for an explanation, he finally admitted that he tried to cheat. The guy who kept coming to my church and basically recruited him was apparently so attractive that he would listen to anything he said. So he tried to cheat, failed, and went the full 180 and has decided being gay is the ultimate sin. Not the fact that he tried to have an affair. This is actually going to drive me crazy. Finding out he wanted to cheat but didn't is almost worse, because it's like, seriously? You tried and got rejected? That's embarrassing as shit for you, and doubly embarrassing for me. I asked him if they knew he was married to a man, and he simply told them I was his gay roommate who turned him, and now that he's straight again I've gone off the deep end. He's an actual freaking liar. He showed me some Bible verses, ones that were just blatantly different from the ones in mine, and kept trying to convince me that I need to change too. He said that he still cares about me, and wants to be friends. I asked him what about our actual friends, and he said they're too far gone. He just kept talking and I was done with it. He isn't the man I fell in love with and it pisses me off. He wasn't even dressing the same anymore. Freaking white dress shirt and slacks and the most boring hairstyle ever. He didn't look like my Anthony. The more he talked at me, the more it was clear I didn't want to be with the man he is now. He left, and for the second time in our life, he walked out that door without saying I love you, and I was fine with that. This morning I talked with my lawyer and I am going through with a divorce. After I was done, I stopped by where he was staying and knocked on the door, half wanting whoever owned the place to be there when I gave him the papers, half because I didn't want him coming to my home anymore. When the man opened the door I realized this is who he was talking about, and it took a bit to keep my anger in. I asked for my husband, and when he saw me, the look in his eyes made it clear that he wasn't expecting this out of me. I made it clear to the other guy that I was handing my husband, gay husband, divorce papers, to end our marriage, the gay one between two men. Us, we're those two men. Because I don't know who needs to hear this, but if you wake up next to a man for 3 years out of your life, chances are you are a homosexual. So sorry to break it to you. I won't be able to go into details of the proceedings themselves, but I'm going to completely distance myself from him as best I can. His actions have been horrible on my health, and his family and friends can handle him better than I can. I'm going to miss the man he used to be, but I have my people surrounding me. I'm going to be okay. I hope for his sake he'll snap out of this one day, because the self-hatred isn't healthy, but when he does I won't be there.